But if you didn't hear about this, we just got a couple of small little news stories here before we get into the main event. It might be time to think about deleting your face twat and insta twat. I'm just like, wow. So Meta's oversight board says the company's nudity policy is bad because it makes a distinction between male and female bodies. Now,
oh my God!
As it says on the screen, all sources are available on redonkulous.com. You can go through and take a look at this yourself. But what it boils down to is that now, teenagers, children who may have access to just mommy's Facebook on her phone may be subjected to transformer tits, nipples, and what have you, because the nudity policy isn't good and we can't discriminate against the non-binary fluid folk.
Now listen, they make up 0.25% of the gross population of this country, and we are alienating and tearing ourselves apart to give these individuals above and beyond treatment.
Yep.
Now listen, everyone's entitled to what the Constitution enshrines. Anything above that is tyranny.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no way I should be forced to entertain someone else's mental delusion.
No.
I am not going to relearn the English language. 1, because I have dyslexia. 2, I'm lazy. 3, I don't produce enough give-a-fucks to actually go to that level.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't do it, and it is what it is.
I just don't understand when this became a problem. You can look at someone and decide whether or not they are male or female. Usually.
Well, it's not up to you, Blake. Come on.
Apparently it's not. Now, even though we've been making these sort of instantaneous snap judgments as a species for millions of years.
Yes.
Now, all of a sudden, quick assessments of sex and gender are problematic. And, we need to have human moderators to decide that for the rest of us.
Yeah, and you know what? We are in this boat with this whole gender confusion bullshit because we're now 3 generations away from the destruction of the nuclear family.
Yep.
And it's not going to get any better.
No, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah.
Guys, this is just what it is with these folks. Once you give anybody, they're not just standing outside of the norm of what civility and civilization is, they stand in opposition to it.
Yep.
So
they're
being given a platform, and it's not that they had the strength to push their way in. It's that somebody saw that it was an incredible divisive wedge issue to use, and these people are being used.
Of course they are.
Oh, and on top of that, on top of it being an incredibly useful and political divisive issue, it's also now extraordinarily profitable. That's why we're seeing gender clinics for children pop up all over this country. I mean, the amount of these procedures has increased by an order of magnitude. We're talking thousands of % from 20 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, man, not even 20 years ago. I did... When did I do the MGTOW movie? It was 2019, 2018, right around there. And then it was up 400%. From that point to now, it has to be thousands of %.
That's bad.
That's extremely bad.
Yeah,
These people are mutilating and abusing their children because they want to be seen as tolerant and progressive. But really, what they're tolerant of is their own views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody told you that this was the United States, right?
Yeah.
They said that this is the United States. Doesn't it look an awful lot like 1937 somewhere?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks an awful lot like it.
I've been making those
comparisons.
comparisons.
Refuse to believe it.
I've been making those comparisons for about 7 years now.
And for the folks out there, for the ethno-nats and the well, we'll just say ethno-nats that are out there that think that I'm going in on a certain somebody. I'm not. I'm just saying that the comparison is there, and we're 1,000 times worse than they ever were.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty damn bad.
Moving towards 40 trillion upside down in this supposed monetary system.
Yep.
It's absolutely unsustainable. It's not going to happen.
It is, and it's going to end up in a big, huge two-way rifle range.
Yeah. Yep. It is even worse than it was in 1937 over there, because now, instead of just basically a few recruited diehards to a cause, you've got pretty decent chunk of the general population going along with this shit.
Well,
And
how many?
we've been so indoctrinated and brainwashed, and we're not taught anything real in public education anymore.
Nope.
So people
Sure.
have no idea how the monetary system, how government, civics, any of it works. It makes it a hell of a lot easier to slip all this under the radar when people don't even know what the hell they're looking for.
Yep. Absolutely correct.
When was your last landslide election? It wasn't. People were going to say, "Well, it was Trump and Clinton." That's not
That
the
wasn't
case
a
at all.
landslide, no.
It was a long time ago. Reagan in 1980.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd say
Since then-
1984. His reelection.
84 was big. 80 against Carter. Well,
Nixon,
84 was bigger than that, but you know.
Nixon was elected by a pretty big landslide.
Yeah, Carter
You think
was a
about the
piece
way
of
that
shit.
these auctions essentially have gone. They're not elections; they're auctions.
Yeah.
Since then, it's 50% versus 50%, and that's the way that it has been. And the only thing that tips it one way or the other, if you still believe that the vote works, is some type of social issue.
Yep.
That's
Or
it.
gerrymandering in the case of Michigan in just this last midterm.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Agreed.
correct.
It's like, well, we know that we can't win because the majority of the state is red. So what we'll do is we'll redistrict things to
We'll
be fair and
redistrict.
inclusive.
But you've heard about in Oregon, I believe it's like half the state.
They want to secede to Idaho. Yeah.
They've put legislation forward to try to make it happen.
Yeah,
they
they've
want
got
to
it.
leave Oregon and go
It's
to
like
Idaho.
a 3-phase plan. I saw it all
Yeah.
laid out.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
You are royally fucking up by the numbers if people in your own state no longer want to be a member of your state.
Yeah.
Look, man, it is only a matter of time. It could be the most benign, innocuous thing that happens that kicks it all off, but it's only a matter of time.
It really is. Ugh.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. And if it does, I hope I can get out of the way because I'm
Amen
old
to
that.
and I'm not playing in that anymore. I'm too old
Yeah.
for that shit.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.